When's the last time you worked?
What's today?
Tuesday.
Yesterday.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys noticed it. She's got a schedule that she keeps in her brain.
I do,
And
yeah.
she just looked at it. And
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh yeah, I worked yesterday. So
Yep.
can you, we see that you tried to forget it as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, what's it like being a dealer? You know, just like walk us through your day.
If my shift starts at, say, 2 o'clock, I'm usually up at like, the latest I want to get up is like 12. I try to start getting ready 2 hours before.
I want to pause you. Poker dealers wake up later than regular people.
Oh, yeah, we do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like sort of the little benefit of the life. By the way, the typical hourly shifts, you work mostly between what, 12 and 5:30 p.m. start times?
Yes.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you basically go to a poker room, especially if they're a bigger poker room, you tell them all the times you're available, and they will give you start times during all the times that you say you're available.
Mm-hmm.
It could be midnight that you start. And actually,
Yeah.
those can be very desirable shifts because people tip a lot late at night. But sorry, continue. So you wake up at 12 for a 2 o'clock shift.
Usually I do wake up earlier than that. The latest I would wake up is like 12 o'clock for that. Lately I've been giving myself time to like mentally prepare while I'm on my way. That mental preparation before starting a deal is really important to me because like, you know, you sort of deal with a lot on the table sometimes. Sometimes you have smooth days, sometimes you don't. So like I always prepare myself for not having a smooth day, even though like I wish for a smooth day. Because sometimes my drive is like 5 minutes or other times my drive is like 30 minutes. And I just like to give myself a good amount of time to like mentally prepare. Like I said, when I get there, if my shift starts at 2, I don't push until 2:15. So there's like this 15-minute grace period. And during that time, I sort of like just check my appearance. I chit chat with some other dealers. I grab a box.
This grace period that you talk about, this is the pre-shift time, correct?
Oh yeah, pre-shift.
Okay. Have you been given a pre-shift lately?
No, I haven't. So like, not saying the 15 minutes is useless, but like, it's sort of useless.
Well, they do give you pre-shifts on the app now, though, right?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they give pre-shifts on our property app. But those are like once a week or twice a week.
The way that a typical schedule works, you show up 15 minutes before your actual start time where you deal because that gives everybody an opportunity to communicate information about what's going on in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And dealers are typically expected to show up at that start time, which is 15 minutes before they actually deal. At your room, if I understand correctly, if I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of dealers sort of use it as a whatever time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have mixed feelings about that, but continue.
So, well, yesterday I started on break. So sometimes you can go into work at 2 and then you start on break and then you don't have to push until like 2:45 or whatever. And so I used that time to make some tea. And I told myself, I was like, I usually do 1 tea bag, but yesterday I was like, I just feel like I'm gonna need 2 tea bags today. So I did 2 tea bags and I was happy about that because I ended up working 8-hour shift. An 8-hour shift as a dealer for me personally feels like a 10-hour shift because of like what it does to your body, especially if we're busy. I was
Jeff said coffee. He's like,
well, yeah, coffee. But they don't have almond milk at my property, so like that's why I get tea.
For what it's worth though, your break room comes with a ton of free food.
Yeah,
right?
we have a whole kitchen, and you can get like fries, chicken fingers. They make like rice, chicken, like almost anything that you can think of.
Not every casino is going to do that, but the bigger casinos that do really well, they often provide sometimes even good food. I mean, for what it's worth. I'm not saying that this one is great, but I actually worked at this property years ago, and I did appreciate the food.
Yeah. I
that was there.
appreciate it for sure too. I don't eat it often because it's usually super unhealthy, but for the most part the food is pretty good. They offer pizza. They have a whole coffee and tea section too. I just prefer the tea versus the coffee.
So now let's segue in. Gloria says, what's your rotation like? And so you're about to talk about your first table anyway.
Right. My rotation solely depends on the floor who is doing rotation. I could be doing table break, table break, table break, or I could be doing like 5 tables in a row, 1 break, 5 tables in a row, 1 break, or it's just like, or something that makes sense, which is like 3 tables a break, 4 tables a break or something like that. So it literally depends on the floor. It's all over the place.
Typically in the industry, they try to make it so that you're dealing between 2 and 4 tables and then getting a break consistently. It can be pretty challenging to do depending on how the business is, and I have zero experience trying to create a rotation during COVID. By the way, what's it like wearing a mask all day?
It's rough. There are times where I feel like I can't breathe, like especially in stressful situations on the table when I have to call the floor. I actually don't have a lot of stressful situations because I know the rules so well.
You're saying floor calls are more challenging with a mask?
Yes, they are more challenging, mainly because like when you're in a stressful situation, like you're breathing heavier and stuff like that, and it's hot under there, and it's harder to breathe sometimes.
Do your nose rings ever get like stuck in there?
Yeah, sometimes. The mask that they provide, actually, it would like pull on my nose rings because I have 2 nose rings, if you guys can tell. Like sometimes I have to like pull my mask up because it's falling down because I'm talking. And like when I do that, sometimes it would like lift the nose rings and it's sort of painful.
Would you say you make more than the men?
Yes, for sure I do.
How much more?
Maybe like 200 more sometimes.
In a day, you're saying?
Yeah.
So you can double the men. Like literally double how much they make.
That's my opinion. Yeah.
Well, but you tip out with them, right? You get to see what they make. Yeah. Dealers often tip out at the same time, and you see what other dealers make a lot of the time. I put on True Poker Dealer that poker dealers make between $25 and $40 an hour. I don't put there that pretty girl poker dealers make more than that.
Yeah, we do.
But it is true.